Rain lashed against the grimy windows of my office, mirroring the storm inside me. A crumpled photo lay on my desk, a smiling woman with kind eyes, my wife, Elena. Gone. Murdered. They called it a robbery gone wrong, but I knew better. Elena wasn't just anyone. She was a beacon in my bleak world, a world I'd clawed my way out of. I wasn't some polished detective with a fancy pedigree. I was Luca, a product of the very streets where Elena had died. I knew the desperation, the hunger, the casual brutality that festered there. I understood the language of the shadows because I'd spoken it myself. My phone buzzed. It was Marco, a snitch I hadn't used in years. Luca, I heard something. Elena's. It wasn't random. They were looking for something. What? My voice was hoarse, a ledger. Some numbers. She kept it hidden, apparently. My blood ran cold. Elena, a ledger? She worked as a librarian, for God's sake. What numbers could she possibly have? I plunged back into the underbelly I'd escaped. The damp alleys, the smoky bars, the faces etched with hardship, they were my old haunts, now a hunting ground. I squeezed Marco for more information, but he was jittery, scared. He'd heard whispers, nothing concrete. My investigation led me to Silas, a notorious loan shark with fingers in every dirty pie in the city. He denied everything, of course, his eyes glinting with false innocence. But I saw the flicker of recognition when I mentioned Elena's name. I spent weeks chasing shadows, dodging thugs, and piecing together fragments of information. Elena, it turned out, had stumbled upon something big. A network of corruption reaching the highest levels of the city council, involving land grabs, bribery, and God knew what else. The ledger contained the proof. I finally found it hidden in a hollowed-out first edition of The Count of Monte Cristo, ironic, considering my own climb from poverty. The ledger was a meticulous record of illicit transactions, enough to bring down the entire corrupt system. I prepared to go public, to expose them all. But something nagged at me. The pieces didn't quite fit. Why would Elena, a gentle soul, risk her life for this? I went back to Silas. This time, I didn't threaten. I offered him a deal. Immunity in exchange for the truth. He hesitated, then cracked. Elena hadn't stumbled upon the ledger. She had created it. My world tilted on its axis. Elena, my Elena, the woman I thought I knew, had been playing a dangerous game. She'd grown up on the same streets as me, witnessed the same injustices. She'd used her position at the library to access information, meticulously building her case, documenting every dirty deal. She knew they'd come for her eventually. She'd even anticipated her own death, leaving the ledger for me, knowing I'd understand, that I'd carry on her fight. The twist was a gut punch, a betrayal and a revelation all at once. My wife, my love, was a warrior I never knew. The storm inside me shifted. The grief was still there, but now it was laced with a fierce pride. I wasn't just avenging her death anymore. I was finishing her work. I released the ledger, and the city erupted. The corrupt officials fell like dominoes. The storm had cleared, leaving behind a wreckage of broken power and a glimmer of hope. But in the quiet solitude of my office, I knew the biggest storm was inside me. I'd lost Elena, but I'd found her truth. And that truth was more powerful than any storm.